I'm here today with the legendary Tom Angelripper of Sodom to talk about 40 Years at War, out October 28th on Steamhammer. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I am fine. We had a couple of shows the last weeks, you know, and yeah, it's good. After the 2 years, we had a 2 years break during the Corona crisis, and now we restart touring and doing shows, Yes, it's good to be back, after all the years.
I see you already have your copy there behind you.
Yes. I take it. If I want to take it. Yeah, I get some boxes. The first ones from a record company.
Oh wow!
It's a big heavy box.
I know that's a big one.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff inside.
I mean, there's 40 years of history of Sodom to pack in there, so it needs to be a big box. So
yeah, there's also a book in it, and the album itself, a new single, some posters, stickers, and signed autograph cards are inside.
Oh wow!
I remember we signed 4,000 cards by hand.
Wow, that must have taken a long time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm proud. No, it's out. It's been perfect. The reactions are really good. We got some reviews from some magazines. There were also some unboxing videos at YouTube. Yeah, but for me, 40 years just a number. We are looking forward, for the next project.
So let me ask you that 40 years of Sodom. What is the secret to the longevity of the band?
I don't know. Do what you want. I think the secret is that Sodom never changed. Okay, I changed musicians sometimes, lineups, but I think the secret is don't change the music. I remember that back in the 90s, a lot of heavy metal bands changed the music, try to get more commercial, selling more copies, and we never mind. We are just metal fans making music for a while. That is a big difference from Sodom to all the other bands, And that is a secret. That's what the fans really enjoy, because we never change. It's just we're just going up on stage for a while and coming back to the fans. We always stay in contact with the fans for meet and greet sessions and all this stuff. We are not rock stars. That is a big thing.
In these 4 years, and when you look back at the history of the band, what are you most proud of? Is there a moment or moments that you're extremely proud that you've been able to achieve with Sodom?
I am proud of myself. I'm proud of my ex-members and all the people who are working on this project, And yeah, but there's so many ups and downs, 40 years career, But for me personally was the best moment when I stopped my job in a coal mine. I was a coal miner for a couple of years, And then I took the decision after Agent Orange came out in '89, to make my live from the music, And it works, I know it's really hard to quit a job, where you get your money paid every month, And if you're a musician, sometimes you get no money, The record company supported me by giving me a check every month, so I could pay my apartment, I could pay my car, my beer, And that was okay. So I don't know. It's really the business is getting harder, But I think Sodom is still a strong part of the international metal scene.
When it came down to celebrating these 40 years of the band, what made this record 40 years of 40 years at war the perfect way to celebrate the history of Sodom?
No, it's not the perfect way. My opinion, we originally planned to doing a live album, but the last 1 or 2 years we found no proper show for recording it, That was my dream, bringing a new live album. It's like a sampler, maybe a 2 hours show, you're recording something, And later we came to the idea to make like the 10 Black Years sampler, which we released I think in '95, putting some existing material together, remastering. That is not what the fans want, And then I came up with the idea to re-record one song from each album,
Mm-hmm. Now, was it difficult for you to pick these songs for this record? I mean, there's a lot of material to go back to pick from.
Oh yeah.
How was the choice process to finalize it on these songs?
So the whole band decided it, when we listened to the complete albums, which is the best song. We don't want to have the classic hit singles, which we play on the live sets, like Agent Orange from Agent Orange, So we tried to pick up some songs who are kind of underrated, never played live, never played in a rehearsal room, That was very important to pick songs who never expected it, And when you re-recorded something from Obsessed by Cruelty or In the Sound of Evil, for example, that was really hard, because we want to cover the song one by one, We don't want to change the arrangement or the lyrics, whatever, and we try to keep the spirit, But if you remember some Obsessed by Cruelty stuff or In the Sound of Evil, sometimes out of tuning and out of timing, that was really important to play it in a more accurate way, with the drumming and all the stuff, But we try to keep the spirit, and that is important.
Did the re-recording of these tracks allow you to relive a little bit of the history of the band and perhaps go back in your mind into the time in which these songs were originally created?
Yes, there was a lot of stories. I remember when we recorded Obsessed by Cruelty, and this album is the only album in the world who was recorded twice, because we recorded the first one in Berlin in 85, and then they sent the master to the record company, and the sound was really muffy, and and the producer was Horst Müller, who also produced Celtic Frost, Running Wild, and all the bands in these times, He hate us, he don't want to do a remix, whatever, He was said, okay, the band recording, I'm just an engineer, and the band go home, So we decided to record this album twice, all the remembrance coming back, but Obsessed by Cruelty is another story, And I remember that the first master from a first recording was sent to America for the U.S. press, which was the wrong one. We don't want to release it, So all the stories coming, but we recorded also from the first demo, switching a couple of songs from the second one, Yes, I always remember a couple of things, and that was really funny. But recording all this stuff, helps us doing the set list for the next upcoming shows,
I was going to ask you, did you guys, well, for you more so than anybody else, did you have to relearn some of these songs since you hadn't played them in such a long time?
I have to relearn. Yeah. Because if you never played a song, if you coming back from a studio and you never played the song live, you forget all this stuff, and especially the older ones, how was the tuning, but it was very interesting and really funny to do, and but now we have a couple of songs which we put on an upcoming set list, because I don't want to play the same set list over years, I want to change, And I remember the last shows, we put songs like Equinox into the set list, One Step Over the Line. The next one is what we plan is Body Parts, There are so many good songs, all over the years, We have to put it on a live set, on a live set list.
So did you guys, when you were re-recording this album, did you guys spend more time talking about the stories of the songs than recording the songs?
Yes, we spent a lot of time, because we recorded about 20 or 21 songs, And yes, my guitarist, and my drummer, a young man, he's 35 years old. He was really interested in older stories. What is the story behind this album, or is something special to this song, And yeah, that was really funny, get some beers and listening to the albums, And then we decided we take this song for the sampler or this one, Yeah, that was a lot of work, I think we recorded 1 year, because we have shows and we're coming back to the studio and recording the next one, rehearsing, That was a lot of work to do, But in the end, I'm glad it's finished,
Was there any track that you perhaps kind of thought it was going to make the cut of this album, but at the end it just didn't make it?
No. No. We decided together, So what I thought before, we don't want to put the hit singles from all the albums, we want to do the underrated songs, you know, and so we I remember we rehearsed two or three songs from each album, and we'll see how it's working out. If you're gonna play this live, you know, is it a typical Sodom song or not, you know? When we came to Get What You Deserve, for example, we played Jabba the Hutt, you know, which is the most heaviest song on this album, you know, and yeah, it was really funny, you know. But I don't want to decide for alone, you know, because my guitarist and my drummer are big metal fans, big Sodom fans, you know. And I told him, what is your opinion? What is the best song recording this, you know?
When you're looking at these tracks, you mentioned that some of the old songs were out of tuning, the tempos were off. Did that make you think back about those times and how naive you were and how raw you guys were compared to where you are today with all the experience that you have?
Yeah, especially when the guitar or the bass guitar is out of tune, you know. You know, if we go to the studio, you know, there was a producer. Okay, you have to replay the bass. You know, you have to tune the bass guitar before you recorded it. You know, or in the Sound of Evil, that was the first time that we went to the studio. That was the first time we've been in Berlin. You know, and we spent a lot of time for drinking and having partying outside Berlin. You know, that was really funny. I think the band was not serious enough, you know. And we recorded. We have to record each. We have a 24 multi-track recording, you know, that we never played before like this, you know. We recorded all the stuff with two microphones in a rehearsal room, you know. That was really something new. But the producer never really helped us, you know. And that was a big difference to Persecution Mania or Curse of Sodomy, you know, when we had a good producer, you know. That was Harris Jones in these times, you know, who told us, you know, if you record an album here, you have to stay sober, don't drink too much. You have to work hard on this album, you know, because you just have one chance, you know, and then you go home, you know. And that was a big difference, you know. If you have, and Harris was like a fourth band member, you know, and we worked more serious, you know. We worked hard to get the guitar sound and the bass sound, whatever, you know. Especially Witch Hunter, you know, he was drinking all the time, you know. And that was really hard to recording with him, you know. Yes, I think now we get more serious and now we know how to work in the studio, but in these times we never mind, you know.
Yeah, you know, when you're young, you're young.
Yeah, we just want to have a good time, you know.
Exactly.
And if you are in Berlin, you know, it's the town that never sleeps, you know. We go out whenever we want, drinking beers, having some food, you know. There were some parties around, you know. And yeah, to recording an album that was not so important to us in these times, you know.
Going through the records now in order to pick these songs for this specific album, is there a record in the Sodom discography that comes to mind as being completely underrated considering how good it is, at least from your personal point of view?
Yes, I think there are so I have to tell, we recorded from Obsessed by Cruelty, Equinox, you know, and a couple of weeks the guitarist died who played the song After the Deluge, you know. So we decided to re-record it After the Deluge to give tribute to the guitarist, you know, which was a good friend of mine, a good friend of the band, you know. But if you talk about other albums, I think there is albums like Masquerade in Blood or Epitome of Torture, you know, who are really underrated, you know. But if you listen to these albums, you know, you will realize that these two albums are one of the best in my career, you know. I think the sound is not so good on Masquerade in Blood, for example, you know, but you can feel the potential into the music. It's so aggressive, you know, and Epitome of Torture is one of my favorite albums because there are really, really good songs on it, you know. You know, people always waiting for a second Agent Orange, you know. Agent Orange is the best album, you know. In my opinion, Agent Orange is not the best album. Definitely not, you know. It was the best album for these times, you know, to give me the chance making money from the music, you know. But in a musical way, I think other albums like Better Off Dead or Tapping the Wind are better than Agent Orange, you know.
I was going to say,
always people talking about Agent Orange, you know.
My personal is Tapping the Vein. That is definitely my personal favorite record, and I never really. I mean, I get the obsession with Agent Orange. I
Yeah.
understand it, but it to me is not the best Sodom record. But I get
No.
why people gravitate towards that one, and that is the cross that you're going to have to carry for the rest of your life. You realize that?
Yes, that's unknown. So Agent Orange or Ausgebombt or I think Persecution Mania is better than Agent Orange in my opinion. Songs like Nuclear Winter or Remember the Fall, Remember the Fall is an Agent Orange. It's are really heavy. My favorite albums, I Get What You Deserve and Masquerade in Blood. Because these are maybe a Code Red. It's a really heavy album. The more heavier, the better for me. In my opinion. Yeah, but Agent Orange is still a part of the set list, and we
You
enjoy to
have
play this live. There was no show, I can't remember any show without Agent Orange.
I know. I think fans would boo you off the stage if you didn't play it on the set list.
Yeah, yes, we don't want to leave them disappointed. It's if you go to the Motorhead show without Ace of Spades, it makes them
Yes,
sad. No,
exactly.
but if you have so many albums or like Sodom, there's so much other good songs, and that's what I've talked to my band. Let's change the set list. Get more in old school. There are also on Decision Day or on Genesis 19. There was a couple of wonderful songs we never play live. But the thing, if you're playing on a festival, you get 45 minutes. What can you do? You have no big choice. You have 10 or 12 songs to play, and you have to play the classics. But when we have headlining shows, with maybe 2 hours, we are able to change. And that's what we want to do the next time.
So I have to ask you this question because I always felt very specific about it, but I want to get your opinion about it, which is with Sodom being part of the big four, the German big four of thrash metal, do you feel out of the big four, Sodom always got the respect that the band deserved over the
Yes,
years?
yes. I think if you talk about Big Four, I think Sodom is always number two in this ranking. Whatever. I never mind. I think Creator, it's completely different. Creator is on a different planet. It's we talk to Miller sometimes. I talk to Schmier from Destruction all the time. We're talking about touring or making a couple of shows. I never mind. I think Creator, Destruction, Tanker, they're gone his own way, and it would be really complicated to book shows or touring with this big four, because of different record companies, different publishers, booking agencies, whatever. I don't think so. I think Creator getting more commercial in the last years. They're getting bigger live shows. That's what we don't want. We just want to keep I just want to keep the band on the floor, on the ground. I think the band is important and not the screens that you have on stage or pyrotechnics, whatever. We also playing in smaller clubs. I like playing in smaller clubs. I like to be closer to the fans, get more in contact to the fans. But we played in Mexico 2 weeks ago. Was a big four. The Mexico Metal Fest. If there was if there was a promoter who want to book the four bands, we go. That is not a problem. But touring, it seems to be getting really hard, to plan this.
Do you think commercially? I think the success would be there to do a big four, a German big
Yeah,
four tour, because I think the demand would be there.
yeah.
As difficult as it is, do you still hold some hopes that one day we can see a tour like that, even if it's limited, even if it's like a week,
Mm.
5, 6, 7 shows around Germany, even maybe.
Yeah, a couple of shows around the world. I think Creators touring, Ria touring, Destruction's touring. Okay, maybe we find a weekend. We can do a bigger show in Germany or in America, whatever. I think this package will be good for 4,000 or 5,000 people. I think.
Oh, I think even more.
Um, Maybe more. Maybe if you go to US America, especially, where people are waiting for Sodom all the time, we will sort out definitely. And if there is a promoter who want to book all the four bands, we go. But we also talked to Miller, and I think Miller, he's not really interested, in my opinion, to do this. Schmier is a very good friend of mine, and also Gareth from Tankard. We always talking about this. Somebody have to take it in a hand. Somebody have to try to arrange something. And then we go.
Yeah, you need a strong pulse, somebody with a strong pulse to bring all four of you guys together.
Yeah,
I
man,
think
a promoter, I want to have the big four band, I want to have Creator, Destruction, Sodom, Tankard, whatever,
yeah,
But we
yeah.
go.
So outside of this this record that comes out now to celebrate the 40 years of the band, when can fans expect some new material from Sodom?
I hope okay, we will get an option for the next album with SPV Records in Germany, and we have a couple of material written, I think we have 4 or 5 tracks written, and I can tell you, these songs are really heavy, that will be the heaviest Sodom album ever, and I have some other plans for the new album. I want to go to a more professional studio, digital recording, you can do it at home. I can record my bass at home, That's what I don't want, I want to get the band to the studio, and we talk about Hansa Studio in Berlin, which is a big studio, and the complete band is in the studio for 3 or 4 weeks, whatever, recording an album, And I also plan to get Harris Jones back, He's an old producer, he's an old man, but he's still interested in music. He has still a lot of ideas, recording something or arranging songs, whatever, And I hope we can bring it out in next year. I think it's before Christmas, but time is running so fast nowadays. We start touring, we have so many other projects, but we are still working on new material, and if the time is right, it will come out. My
You
dream
said,
is also recording a live album is something in my ideas, But there are so many projects, and we have so many ideas.
with your goal of making this the heaviest Sodom album
Yeah,
ever, what do you feel is the perfect ingredient to make that heaviness? Is it the songs in terms of how they're written, the lyrics that go with the songs, the sound, the studio, the
the
people you
sound.
work with?
Yeah, I think it's a sound, because I love this 80s sound, if you listen to bands like Kiss or Mötley Crüe from the 80s, or even Venom, a lot of stuff, with big drum sounds, I think it's not possible if you do a digital recording in a rehearsal room or a smaller room to get a big drum sound. I want to have a big drum sound, I want to have heavier guitars, and I think it's a production, but the way we're gonna write songs is still the same, But we always try to get more aggressive. We have more faster songs on the next album, Um, and I think also the combination between the both guitarists, I think York, he gonna write songs, Frank is writing songs in a different way. We're putting all the ideas together, But I think it's really important that the band is close in the studio and working intensive and hard on a new album, That I think that is also then the album will get heavier, I think, in my opinion. But I think it's the sound, the drum sound, the vocal sound, Some people thought the last album the vocals was a little bit low, that was not a good, the sound could be better. So we have to go to the better studio. We have to spend more time. We have to spend more money and going to the professional studio on a professional multi-desk mixing this album,
So my last question for you is this: I'm in Canada, so I'm in North America. When I know you want to spend some time touring, perhaps record a live album, so why not come to North America and record a live album here?
That is a good idea. So I met so many friends from US America, in the Mexico Metal Fest. A lot of people come to Mexico just to see Sodom, I talk to the fans, they're going to see Creator every year. They're going to see Destruction. All the bands are touring, Why Sodom is not touring in America? Do you hate US America? One guy asked me, I don't hate America. I love America, my bags are packed, We need we need a serious promoter who's going to help us over, And another thing is we can go as tourists, It's impossible. You need the paper sheets, the working license, visa, what all the stuff. You need a lot of paperwork to do before you start going to US America, And we need a promoter who's gonna help us, And I give you the guarantee we will sort out every show, And The next one is maybe we get in contact to Las Vegas Psycho.
Oh, Psycho Las Vegas, yeah.
Oh, Psycho Las Vegas, yeah. A good friend of mine, he get in contact to the promoter. Why you not book Sodom? And then we can book a couple of shows around, you know. I want to go, you know. That is not the problem, you know. The problem is find somebody who pay the price, you know, and who work seriously to get all the papers and all the. We need such a backline, you know. When all the American bands are touring in Germany without any problems, you know. They get the backline, they get the drum kit, they get food, they get catering, they get hotels. Everything's perfect, you know. And the same one we have when we come to US America. Maybe a good nightliner where you can sleep, you know. We need it more comfortable in my age, you know, sometimes.
Yeah. You definitely can be sleeping on the floor at this point in time in your career.
No.
You definitely deserve more than that.
Yes. So we want to go, and I think when we get some promoters, you know, we're gonna contact our booking agency. We will work something out, you know.
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed to see you guys in North America in 2023, hopefully, and maybe recording and maybe recording that live album on this side of the Atlantic. That would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. You know, it's I think it's nowadays really easy from a technical way of recording a live album. You need a laptop, you know, whatever. You don't need a big desk and all the stuff, you know. And there's the shows we had in US America. I remember Los Angeles Key Club, you know. That was awesome, you know. That was a perfect show for recording, you know. It was really chaotic, you know. But when I record a live, I don't want to have it perfect, you know.
No. You can capture the essence of the show.
Yes, when we record it live, it's live, you know. I know there's a lot of live albums are not really live, you know. And we need the chaos on the stage, you know, people coming up on stage, you know, the microphones falling down, whatever, you know. That is a live show, you know, and that's what we want to record, you know. It don't have to be perfect, you know. And yes, hopefully, you know, we can do something.
Well, Tom, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the 40 years of Sodom. You deserve it. The guys in the band deserve it. Thank you very much for still putting out music for all of us fans. Yes. And thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for supporting the band.
Always. Take care.
All right, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.